Hi, my name is Dan Ariely, and I'm the James B. Duke Professor of Psychology and Behavioral Economics, and you're here at the Center for Advanced Hindsight, which is my research lab. And I want to talk a little bit today about motivation. And there's lots of versions of motivations. We can pay people, we can give people compliments, we can give people gifts. How are those motivations different from each other? And I want to tell you a little bit a story from my own personal experience. Because of my injury, lots of people write me about their own injuries. And a few years ago, somebody wrote me about their own injury, and they asked me to talk to them and help them figure out how life would look afterward. And when I called that person in the evening, it turns out that this person was badly injured, and he wanted to figure out what to do next. And we thought about a few things. We thought about maybe he should write a book about how miserable being injured is. You know, all these books about what a wonderful thing injury is and how it's the best thing that ever happened to people. We thought about some professional pathways. And then this guy asked me about what do I think about committing suicide. And I said, I'm not against it, but you know, let's figure out some things first. And for the next 4 months, we talked more or less every week. And at the end of these 4 months, he did decide to kill himself. And when I found out about it, I started thinking about what gets some people to give up and some people to continue. And in a couple of years since then, I've talked to all kinds of people with all kinds of injuries. And I've learned quite a few lessons, but one of them is that the people who are successful in creating motivation don't think about the meaning of life. They think about something that is shorter term and achievable. For example, Ryan, one of the people I talked to, got badly injured in a bicycle accident. And he could get his caretaker to dress him, but instead he asked his caretaker to put his clothes on the floor, and he tries to shake his body into those clothes. It takes him about 45 minutes, and he times himself. And on days he does better, he feels like he's successful, and days he does worse, he tried to figure out what his strategy should look like. And if you think about what Ryan does, is he doesn't think about motivation on a daily basis. He thinks of it as a short-term motivation. He wants to see an improvement. He wants to see something moving forward. He's not looking for the big meaning of life. He's looking for something within his grasp. And I think it's actually an important lesson. When we think about motivation, if we have something that is too long-term, it's not motivating. It can't hold our motivation. If we think about something that is just on a daily basis, very easy not to take it into account. What we need is something that is kind of in the middle range. And especially when you think about education and kids, you know, maybe a year is too long, maybe a semester is too long. What are the durations of motivation that can actually help us to get, on one hand, focus on improvement, measure the skills, see a sense of progress, but on the other hand, not be too long-term so that they're not motivating us. Of course, there are lots of other things to learn about motivation, and motivation is one of those topics that everybody can gain, right? It's one of those perpetual energy things. In physics, you know, people have looking for perpetual energy, but in motivation we have it. Imagine two factories. In one of them, people are unhappy. Then they're unhappy and the factory is not very productive. In the other one, people are happy. They're both happier, and probably the factory is more efficient and producing more. When we come to understand human motivation and get people to be more motivated, everybody gets to benefit. It's one of those few cases in life where we have win-win-win-win-win situations. So let's try and figure out the motivation equation and get people to be happier and more motivated.